Hello, what's up? Sorry we got some weird backlight going on. It is what it is. Today's video is obviously, based on the title, about menstruation. Shark Week on Flow. That's right, we're talking about the dreaded period. By the way, this is the video that there was a hint for in my video a few weeks back. Did you catch it? Did you? Did you even watch that video? Did you? If you caught it, then go ahead and give yourself a pat on the back. Because that's all I got for you. But this video is actually one I've wanted to make, or I've thought about making for a while. And every time it's come up to make it, I've kind of procrastinated and stalled, and I did again this time. But here we are, we're finally talking about it. The thing about me and dealing with my period that I used to have is I didn't deal with it very well at all. And even being able to call it a period when referring to myself is something that is very recent, and I had to start testosterone and be done with my period for me to actually be comfortable talking about it in that way. Big reason why I stalled in making this video was because I didn't know what to say. I have nothing really good to say about it. I have no real good tips because I didn't deal with it well myself. And then I thought maybe that's just a thing. Maybe just talking about it is good enough for a video. I mean, unless you are a trans man who knew you were trans at a very early age and had access to testosterone and or hormone blockers, having a period is very much a part of a trans man experience. And it's periods are seen as such a feminine thing. It just that probably plays into dysphoria too. I mean, a lot of dysphoria is probably caused just by the fact of it's a period and no one likes periods, let alone guys. But some of the dysphoria probably also comes from just it's seen as such a feminine thing. Like, some people see getting your period as becoming a woman, and as a man, that's obviously something that wasn't very exciting for me and is not very exciting for a lot of other trans men out there. When I actually got my period, when I started going through that, I would literally be super depressed that week when I had my period. My period was actually irregular, so I didn't deal with it every month, but the months that I did deal with it, that week I had it was a lot worse than the other weeks of my life, and I was already depressed, and having my period just made me more depressed. I wouldn't want to go to school, I wouldn't want to go to my sports practices, and all that. Now, this sound. That sound used to be the loudest sound in the world to me when I was the one opening one of these. In the women's restroom, not even the men's restroom. I did start using the men's restroom before I got on testosterone, so I did have my period a few times when I was using the men's restroom, but usually those times I would only use a family restroom if I could, or a men's restroom that was just a single person restroom. I got very lucky that the few times I was on my period in public that those were options for me. I don't really remember ever a time using the men's restroom when I was on my period. Like a restroom with other guys in there. But yeah, like I was saying, that was the loudest sound in the world to me. I hated it. I just never wanted anyone to know that I was opening a pad. It didn't matter that I was in the women's restroom and that lots of women go through this, go through a period and know exactly what that's like and probably could care less what I'm doing in my stall. It just, to me, I was super self-conscious, and that was the loudest sound in the world to me. So I used to have a little trick I do. Let's warp over to the bathroom and I will show you. Alright guys, so I call this the Great Pad Opening Race. The goal is to open the pad and take it off before the toilet is done flushing. This is what I used to do in the bathroom every single time I needed to open a pad. I haven't done this in so long, so I might be a little rusty, but let's give it a try. Sometimes what I do is I just sit there and slowly and quietly as possible, I would just pull this part apart. I'll do that to both sides, but I'll speed it up for your sake. And I'd have it like this, and then it's time to do the great race. Oh yeah. This toilet flushes 3 times. Usually you don't get that chance. So anyways, that is what I do every single time that I had to open a pad. I would flush the toilet and just try to get it open before the toilet was done flushing, so that the noise of the toilet flushing would kind of cover up the noise of me opening the pad. Every once in a while I'd get lucky and someone else would flush the toilet, and that would give me even double time. The struggle is real, y'all. The struggle was real. So that was like my little bathroom trick so that people wouldn't hear me opening a pad. If you do use the men's restroom and that's something that a period is something you deal with, then that probably would work then. I will say I am guilty of flushing pads and the paper and all that stuff down the toilet, which I don't recommend, but I have done it and it's never gotten clogged. But I'm not saying don't, like, I'm not, no. Just know that I have done that before. Desperate times call for desperate measures, and that has happened. It's a long story, don't worry about it. Other than that, sometimes I'll just wrap it up in a lot of like the few times that I went into a women's restroom and for some reason they just didn't have one of those disposal things, I would wrap it up in a lot of tissue and just kind of like hold it in my hand and then like throw it away real quick or something like that. But all in all, I just really didn't handle my period very well at all. To be honest, I would just want to lay in bed all day and do absolutely nothing. But, you know, it is part of the trans man experience. A lot of trans guys, the majority of trans guys actually do deal with a period, and it can be really hard. It can be very dysphoria triggering. As far as when mine stopped, it was probably around 5 to 6 months on testosterone. I actually skipped a whole month of doing my T shots. Around the 4-month mark, I missed 2 shots, which is a month's worth for me because I do it once every other week. And I think around 3 months, it had actually pretty much stopped, except for maybe a little spotting here or there. And then I missed those shots in my 4-month period. Period. That was an accident. In my 4th month of T, I missed those 2 shots, and my period kind of came back strong and was really bad and was kind of regular. Actually, when I started testosterone, my period became really regular, which I did not like. I actually got it every month when I first started testosterone, and then around 3 months it started slowing down and going to more spotting, and then I missed those 2 shots in my 4th month, and then it came back really strong, and then around 5-6 months when I got back on my shots, it stopped pretty quickly. And I don't know exactly when, but I think in my testosterone update videos on my other channel, I say when it stops, and I think, if I remember correctly, it was around the 5 or 6 month mark. I know hormone blockers can stop your period, and I know birth control can stop your period. I don't have any experience at all with birth control, but that could be something you maybe want to talk to your doctor about if that's something you're interested in. And it can kind of be a subtle way of stopping your period, especially if you're not out yet or anything like that. as far as periods go, I don't have much more to say. I just thought maybe, being a guy, talking about it, talking about having it. I used to have a period, and just kind of making it a little bit more normal and not seen as such a completely feminine thing. I mean, there are guys who go through dealing with a period, and I'm one of them, and it was rough, but I made it through, and yeah. So, anyways, I guess I'll just kind of leave it there. Hope you got maybe a little something out of this video. But, yeah, I honestly did not handle it well at all, so that's pretty much all I have for you. Anyways, guys, I hope you all are doing well. I'll talk to you soon. I love you all. Peace.